Welcome to InSightOut, the ultimate channel for intriguing perspectives. In this series, we explore the top 5 useless mega-projects in the world. From colossal structures that failed to serve their purpose to ambitious endeavors gone awry, we expose the grandeur and futility intertwined in these projects. Prepare to be astonished as we shine a light on the extravagant ventures that missed the mark. Get ready to gain insight from the inside out. Number 5. Myanmar's Ghost City, the failure of Naypyidaw. Myanmar's capital, Naypyidaw, was built from scratch in secret by the country's former military leaders in 2002. The sudden move of the capital was not clear, but it had to do with the fact that Yangon, the old capital, was hitting the limits of its infrastructure, and its population was expected to double by 2050. The new project was built quickly, and so far, $4 billion have been put into the city by different states. But there are less than 1 million people living there now, and the city is often called a ghost town. The 20-lane highway is almost empty, and the airport in the city doesn't see many people. Most of the shops and hotel halls are empty. Even so, the city was built as a city of the future, so there is still time for it to be saved. Number 4. Abandoned Dreams. The story of Ciudad, Real Central Airport. The Ciudad Real Central Airport in Spain was made as an alternative to the main airport in Madrid, which is always full. The airport was supposed to serve 2 million people a year, and there were plans to expand it so that it could serve 10 million people a year. But when it opened in 2009, the airport had a lot of problems, such as being 200 kilometers away from Madrid and not having any big airlines. In the first year after it opened, the airport ran up a bill of $350 million, and in 2012, it went into receivership. It was put up for sale in 2013, and a British TV show made it well known as an abandoned place in 2014. In 2019, the airport was finally sold and turned into a place where planes that were stopped because of the COVID-19 pandemic could be stored. But the airport's future is still uncertain because it's not clear when regular flight operations will resume. Even though $1 billion were spent on this mega-project, travelers from all over the world still can't use it. Even though it started out with big plans and a lot of promise, the Ciudad Real Central Airport has become a cautionary tale about the risks and problems that can happen with big building projects. The airport was built in the wrong place, far from the big city it was meant to serve, and it didn't have any big airlines to bring people in. The fact that the company behind the project went bankrupt and was taken over by the government was a clear sign that the project had failed. In the end, the airport was only able to find a new use as a place to store planes that couldn't fly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But even this is unclear because no one knows when normal flight operations will resume. Number 3. Malaysia's unfinished metropolis, the Forest City disaster. Forest City, Malaysia would be a green, smart, and future city that would grow on 4 islands. The metropolis will be close to the sovereign city-state of Singapore, and it will be built around a forest environment that was made to look like a forest. The plan of the city includes a lot of eco-friendly features, such as vertical gardens and buildings with green rooftops that look like a jungle. But the city had to get past a number of political and economic problems that slowed its growth. During the first few years of building, Chinese people had free access to the city because the project was mostly paid for by China. Because of this, wealthy Chinese owners rushed to Forest City because they couldn't afford the skyrocketing prices of apartments in their own country. When a change in leadership made it illegal for foreigners to own land in the city, people were very upset. The next big problem was the epidemic and the travel bans around the world. Some sellers have said that since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, less than 10 homes have been sold at Forest City, and the project has stayed in flux. Even though billions of dollars have been spent on it, Forest City is currently one of the useless mega projects in the world. Number 2. Wasted billions, the failure of Interstate H3. In Hawaii, Interstate H3 is a 26-kilometer-long road that goes through some of the world's most beautiful scenery. But people fought against and argued about the building of this route. The road was first thought of in 1960 as a way to connect the Pearl Harbor Naval Base and the Marine Corps Air Station for defense purposes. Environmental groups and Native Hawaiians were worried that the project would lead to too much urbanization, and environmental rules put a stop to construction for good. After 26 years, the environmental problems were fixed, and building finally started in 1989. The highway opened in 1997 and is considered a feat of engineering because it was built in a tough place and with high-tech tools. Even though the highway is beautiful, it has been called a road to nowhere because it doesn't go directly to downtown Honolulu and because it destroyed places that were important to Native Hawaiians. It cost $1.3 billion to build, making it the most expensive per-kilometer cost in the world. When Interstate H3 was built in Hawaii, there were also a lot of problems and arguments. The highway was suggested for security reasons, but environmental groups and Native Hawaiians opposed it because they were worried that it would lead to more cities. Even though the highway was built with beautiful and advanced technology, it has been criticized for being a road to nowhere and for destroying places that were important to Native Hawaiians. Number 1. Nevada's nuclear nightmare, the Yucca Mountain Repository. For a long time, the world community has struggled with the delicate and urgent subject of disposing of nuclear waste. If nuclear garbage isn't kept in the right way, it can be very dangerous and even deadly. In the 1980s, the U.S. government started looking for a place to put nuclear waste deep underground. This was done to find a permanent answer to a problem that was getting worse. After a lot of thought and study, the government decided that Yucca Mountain in Nevada was the best choice. The mountain is near the most used nuclear testing site in the United States. It is far from any people and is made of volcanic ash that formed millions of years ago. This makes it strong enough to absorb radioactive waste without breaking or cracking. On paper, Yucca Mountain looked like the best place to store nuclear waste. Nevadans, on the other hand, were very against the plan. They said that their state shouldn't be the only one in the country to store nuclear waste. Also, there were questions about the official hydrological and geological surveys of the mountain. Critics thought that the site could pollute a nearby water source that flows into Amargosa Valley and is used by Native Americans who have lived there for hundreds of years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fun and interesting facts about the world we live in. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if you have any suggestions or topics you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.